Hi everyone, good afternoon everyone. This is Dr. Kishore Babu, convener of this program, International Online Symposium, Aushadi Gyaan Vikaas, which is held in A.M.Reddy Memorial College of Pharmacy. Once again, I am very happy to see you, very glad to see you again in this event, which is organized by the A.M.Reddy Memorial College of Pharmacy. And once again, thank you very much to all participants. And one more thing is I would like to, my sincere thanks to our respected ma'am, Secretary ma'am, Matluri Srimati Santi Srinivas Reddy Garu, to organize such events, which helps to the students as well as the faculty members. And it's my pleasure to glad to see you all, dear participants. And the main objective of this event, based on the tremendous developments in the pharmaceutical field, the current scenario. So each and everyone has to update, and each and everyone has to learn whatever the amendments in the pharmacy education, as well as the pharmaceutical technologies, and the changes in the international course, that is the PharmD, the scope of the PharmD. So like this, so many tremendous developments are may taking place in the, especially in 21st century. So based on that criteria, we have the object to start these type of the events. And once again, thank you very much to all participants. Please cooperate to the today's resource person. We have that a great resource person today. He is Dr. Jitendra Panir Selvam from Medical University, Malaysia. And I wish you all the best, sir. And my dear students as well as the faculty members, please cooperate to the resource person. Please encourage to the resource person, and support him until the finishing of this session. And hand over to this session to my colleague, co-convener of this event, Mr. Kiran Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So myself, Gyaan Kumar, associate in the Department of Pharmaceutics. Then I want to take this pleasure say about college. The college, A.M.Reddy Memorial College of was founded in 2000 by R.I. Srinivas Garu and Srimati Atluri Shanti Garu, and then A.M. The Educational Society, so which is situated at Petlurivalipalem, Narsarapet, Guntur district. The college is housed independently, pollution-free, lush green environment with well-equipped and state-of-art facilities. It is approved by AICTE, PCI, and affiliated to Acharya Nagarjuna University. The college has been ever driven by the greater aspirants to provide the first quality of pharmacy education rightly implanted in its brilliant infrastructure and ultra-modern sources to ultimately mold every student with academic excellence. So our institution mission is to impart high quality technical and professional education in order to encompass leadership skills and ability to lead in the areas of social responsibility based on ethical considerations. Research attainment, professionalism, knowledge creation, community involvement, quality and affordable healthcare and research directed at improving healthcare for individuals as well as the community. Then the vision of the institution is to be world-class professional knowledge center and strive to produce healthcare professionals with academic excellence, self-confidence, and value-based leadership qualities to meet global challenges. Then our college is offering B Pharmacy course. So that is 4 years B Pharmacy course with intake of 100. Then 2 years of Master of Pharmacy, M Pharmacy, so which has 4 departments: pharmacology, pharmaceutics, industrial pharmacy, pharmaceutical analysis. So, and we have the 6 years course of PharmD, so which has intake of 30, and 3 years of PharmD post-bachelorate, so with 10 intake. So apart from the academics, so the college provides numerous opportunities for the co-curricular activities of the students. Through technical association, the college conducted various national as well as international conferences, faculty development programs, workshops, and so on. So on the institution taken up the social responsibility to serve the mankind as when the natural calamities arose, and by organizing flood relief camp in 2009, and so in Hudud cyclone, so in 2014. So, and in recent COVID-19 pandemic lockdown period also, nearly continuously 68 days. So the institution is supplied food and essential goods for the needy people, and donated fund to the Chief Minister Relief Fund as a social responsibility. So above all activities, so we are doing so with the help of or with the support and guidance and dynamic leadership of our beloved secretary and correspondent Srimati Atluri Shanti Ma'am. Thank you very much, madam. So you are encouraging us to conduct this type of activities in our college. Then I can quote one proverb. So Bill Batter said that the aim of education should be to teach us rather how to think than what to think. I'll repeat. So the education should be to teach us rather how to think than what to think. So that's why we believe that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So that's why we are frontliners for sharing our knowledge, our investment of this knowledge for getting of a more investment, like more productivity with the students as well as the faculty. So to this, I'll wind up my introduction to the institution. Thank you very much for all participants, students as well as the faculty for your enormous. There will be a support as well as the encouragement to us. So previously we conducted a faculty development program. So for that also a huge success. So behind that everyone is there. Thank you very much. And I welcoming the today's resource person Jitendra sir, Dr. Jitendra sir, and I thank you. Then convener Dr. Kishore Babu. Thank you very much, sir. Now I'm handovering the session to today's session coordinator, Mr. Ajay Kumar. Thank you. Thank you, Ananda.
కనీసం వచ్చి న్యూటన్ ఉంది ఆల్రెడీ సార్ ట్రెండ్ ఒక్క నిమిషం అదే సార్ న్యూటన్ చేయాలా ఫోన్ చేయండి సార్, అజయ్ సార్. సార్ దగ్గరే స్పీకర్ అమ్మా.
యూట్యూబ్ రావట్లేదు.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడతారా ఒక్కసారి? అజయ్ సార్. Ajay sir, are you hearing us? No, sir.
హలో అజయ్ సార్. హలో అజయ్ సార్. హలో
సార్ ఏమైంది?
Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Sir, is it okay, sir? So good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for this small interruption due to some signal problems. So I welcome you on behalf of students, staff, and management of A.M.Reddy Memorial College of Pharmacy and A.M.Reddy Educational Society for this day one of 3 days international online symposium Aushadi, Gyaan, Vikaas, organized by A.M.Reddy Memorial College of Pharmacy in association with IJAPB and MIBO Group. I'm also so pleased to have the chance to introduce our today's guest speaker, Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam, for gracing today's session. So I will go with a small presentation over the biodata of Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam, sir. So he is a senior lecturer in the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, International Medical University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam received his Bachelor of Pharmacy from Madras Medical College, Chennai in the year of 2006, Master of Technology in Annamala University, Chennai in 2008, PhD in Biotechnology, Biochemistry, Central Leather Research Institute under University of Madras, Chennai in 2015. He is a registered pharmacist in Tamil Nadu Pharmacy Board, India. Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam, sir, held Junior Research Fellow position from 2008 to 2009 and Senior Research Fellow position from 2009 to 2014 in CLRI CSIR. Sir has supervised numerous research works for master students and undergraduate students. Jitendra Panneerselvam, sir, has passion towards teaching cum research. He is currently a senior lecturer at IMU, Malaysia, with the teaching experience of 6 years. Sir has secured various international research grants in university level. Sir holds several key positions in School of Pharmacy, such as Assessment Curriculum Reviewer. Sir has been actively engaging in student mobility program, under which collaborative research work with reputed universities such as University of Newcastle, University of Sydney, Australia, University of Belfast, Ireland, UK, which were undertaken. Sir has research expertise in tissue engineering, biomaterials, wound healing, nanoformulation. Sir has published several research articles in peer-reviewed international journals and presented his work in several international conferences. Thank you, sir, for giving me this great opportunity in introducing you on this one-day international symposium, Aushadi, Gyaan, Vikaas, and I hand over the session to today's speaker, Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Jitendra Panneerselvam, sir, you can start the screen sharing for your presentation. Sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, one and all. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of this event. So I extremely thank the convener and co-convener, and who are all participated, taken effective to make sure the students get well information about the updates as well as the current trends in the in the global sectors of pharmacy. I'm extremely happy to be part of this this event. So basically, I would like to give a presentation, though I have a research expertise. But however, I would like to give some of the some of the backgrounds or some of the ideas for the young minds who's going to be the future pharmacist. So I take this opportunity to present how it is going to be our future. I mean, going to be our pharmaceutical and science as well as the pharmacy background in the near future. How the education is going to be, how it is very important in the future requirement. So I'm going to take in that context, and I made it very simple and easier way for you to understand. And I know that it is a Sunday, and also I'm not going to take a much time of yours. I'm trying to present as simple as possible to make you to make you to understand, as well as to make you aware what is happening in and around the globe about the pharmacy education. All right, so let's move to the topic now. All right, so my topic would be on the future direction of pharmacy education and new normal. So as you know about it, COVID-19, the pandemic, has shattered the world in every field. All right, it just started from one place, but soon it become a pandemic, and if it affected each one of the countries of the globe. In that context, the COVID-19 doesn't leave any one of the sectors. Almost it shattered or affected in all the sectors. You can see in the graphics. So you can see the tourism industry, oil and gas, hospitals. When you look at that, it is a simple representation of the effect of pandemic COVID-19 across over the globe. In that context, the education is also part of it. You can see this picture. This is just a comical picture. I've come across this picture in one of the Facebook. It sounds like it's funny, but it means a lot. It reflects each and every perspective of education, either from student perspective or facilitator perspective, or the parent perspective, even institution perspective. So it is really a wonderful picture, but it reflects the reality on sudden change of the class or the teaching method, teaching and learning methods, especially due to the COVID-19. In some of the well-developed countries, they already in the progress of the distance learning or online teaching learning. But the other countries which had to embark on the system, which was really a shock. So even for not only for the institution, not only for the facilitator, it also great impact for the students as well. So I just like to bring to the notice about this comical way, but it educates us to think beyond the comic way. So in respect to the previous picture, let us look at it. Everybody forced to learn. Maybe in the past we might be having in a mind, okay, let's learn about the content through the online. Nowadays you can see the YouTube channels. I think my professor used to say, even my colleagues used to say, the YouTube channel is one of the best tutor in the world. You can get any A to Z. You can get any information more clearly and more effectively, and the student can learn every time one over the other, and get a clear and the clear picture of the content. So, however, we say that online learning is going to be fruitful for the candidate, any person in the world, because the coming future is going to be completely online. Because we know that, as we all know, the food, shelter, and water, these are the fundamental requirement. But nowadays in future, the internet facility is also going to be one of the fundamental requirement. So everything is going to be revolved around that, is going to be the impact on education system. All right, as you can see in this picture, it has a lot of challenges. We always talk about the fruitfulness and good thing about the online learning process. All right, but as a result of the COVID-19, it was forced on us, whether we don't have a choice. We might be thinking in the past whether to embark, courageously or not, but the COVID-19, even though it affects the globe very, very bad in all the sectors, but it leaves some spaces for the future opportunistic way. So even though we hesitate to try in online learning, but this is a good chance for us to embark on online learning. So before we do that, let's look at it. What are the challenges which will be normally faced by the or during the online learning process? As we can see that these challenges will be quite more if an institution or the education system or a country which haven't exposed this before or underexposed this before. So there will be a sudden need of changes is required, because we know that the COVID-19 will no longer is going to be keep ever lost in our system, but how one day is going to be vanish. But however, till it vanishes, we cannot still simply sitting and idle. We need to progress in every other way. So we're looking the alternative methods. You can see in all across the globe now, every teaching and learning is embark on online teaching. All right. And also following that, the assessment. So we not only teaching and learning, we're limited to that. We need to assess the student, whether the student is capable of, deliver the content, whether he's qualified for this profession or not. So the assessment also comes into the picture. So obviously we cannot suddenly, we cannot overcome all the challenges and master in the piece. So we need to do a lot of trial and error. So it should be fundamental changes happen from the school level itself. It's all right, in order to avoid the shock. In fact, in some extents, this also can be applicable for whole entire education system. And try to cover the education challenges, which is quite common across all disciplines. But however, I'm trying to skew towards our pharmacy field. All right. So when you look at it, there are challenges. Basically, I've been classified the challenges into 4 different categories. The first one is institution challenges, student challenges, faculty challenges, and content challenges. All right. Now, institutional challenges. This is one of the most important challenges, because they are the source. They are the source of delivery of the e-learning platform, online platform. Let's look at it. It needs a huge infrastructure, right? So, of course, you need a heavy financial background. Not only the establishment, but you need to maintenance periodically. If the maintenance fails, then it defeats the purpose of having the e-learning or online learning platform. Let's look at it. So we need to have opportunities to improve levels of understanding digital learning. First of all, the institution must have a vision and mission. Okay, so in order to have or establish a e-learning platform during the introduction part, so one of the doctors mentioned about it, this institution is also trying to cope up or trying to educate the students in line with the global updates. So this is also one of the updates, as the institution must have a vision and mission, so that it can inculcate this e-learning into the young minds, because those young minds is going to be the future pharmacists, future healthcare provisions. So opportunities should be created. Okay, so of course the management, okay, plays a crucial role in inculcating such versatility among the young minds. Of course, holistic support for distance learning. You must look at it all the contents. You can't simply talk about the one specific chapter of a content. Oh, this is fine. Okay, this is going to be fulfill our requirement. Not at all. So when you look at it, you must have a holistic approach from start point till the future, because future is always an unpredictable. But you should always consider, you must always factor in how the globe is moving towards. So with a vision and a mission, you must have a holistic approach. As this is quite similar to the earlier points, you must, if you have a mission and vision, definitely you must have a roadmap. All right. So always for any task, if you take, even if you drive a car, you must have a roadmap in your mind. Otherwise, you will end up with a different destination, which you may not be intent to. So clear roadmap of any institution is also very, very important for any development of this e-learning platform. as I keep mentioning, as the e-learning it's not a new term, and even in India, there are some of the well-established and government institutions, they're already having it, right? Because they realize it. And also the other institutions also now they are realizing, they are promoting the staff to learn about the e-learning. They at least, if not completely embarking, at least they try to learn some conferences like this and symposium like this to get an experience from the experienced person. So that little bit of knowledge will pull together definitely is going to be fruitful for developing one outshell of the e-learning department. Okay. All right. So this picture is clearly tells about the holistic approach. So how a management plays an important role in achieving this e-learning platform, because certainly it already, even we are in the IR 4.4, which is Industrial Revolution 4.0. So already most, even in developed countries, in developing countries, they already know about the importance of e-learning, and some of them they adapted, if not fully, at least some extent, they can cope up with that. But in the future, we cannot give an excuse. Each and every institute and each and every country would be adapting, because in the future, the competency is very important. E-learning drives an important role in that. So every institution would understand the importance of e-learning, and slowly it lay down the foundations of about the online learning platform. Now look at the challenges of students. We talk about the challenges of our institution. All right. Now who's going to be our receiver, stakeholders? Is going to be definitely is going to be our students, our next young minds. All right. So they do have a separate set of challenges. Let's look at it. First of all, the student challenges, they have exposure. For instance, if the student doesn't even learn about the e-learning technology or the concept behind it, if they are coming from the schools which never even learn about it, but sudden exposure in the e-learning, probably they will be end up in a shock, and probably it will take some time to cope up with that. All right. So obviously the student expectation would be different, but after joining it, then the reality would be different. So that would be a gap. So it should be addressed properly, and overall the education system, good to be drafted in such a way that it is good to have at least a little bit of introduction even from the schools. Even here in Malaysia, even young kids, not even first standard or second standard, they start always come with the online learning. Even in this COVID pandemic, even in India, I've heard about that, they are well established or they already adapted with the e-learning platform. Even though we claim that the face-to-face is one of the best way, but however, sometimes the situation forces to experiences. Even though in the past we're reluctant to approach it, but the situation forces to expose this. All right. Readiness to the learning, readiness, of course, the mindset. All right, the student's mindset, as you see in the picture which I showed it before. So the student must be ready for that. At least he must know what it is, and how, in what way it is going to be useful for the betterment of the life, and how it is going to be helpful for the career. So as we all know, knowledge is very important, but in future, knowledge alone is not going to be sustained. You need to have skills. You need to have a competency. All right. So that is very, very important. You need to acquire by using different tools. All right. So one of the very, very gifted and very fortunate to have internet facilities, and you can see a lot of curiosities and creativities are emerging by online learning, even exposure. As I mentioned before, the Google and YouTube is one of the fantastic and the most appreciated or the most best teacher in the world. So the students can able to without wasting the time, they can experience it, and they can adapt, tune to the requirement of the requirement of the world. So that was the past. If you graduated, we'll get a job, we'll sell that might be in the past, but in future is going to be more competent. Okay, more competent, and more competition based. And if you have a skill, then you can survive in that. Of course, you must learn about certain etiquettes, how to use the online courses, or how to behave, how to properly use it, how to effectively use this. So those things can be much important for the development of any online learning. And of course, multiple roles of responsibilities. This all comes with the student life, not only related to the subjects and getting marks and graduated. So during the college period, they're going to learn many roles, okay, which probably is going to be a team leader, is going to be, you know, uh, task leader and responsible loads, and and also sometimes they may lead a social, for example, various clubs and community service clubs. So in all the way, they're going to learn about the communication and team management, leadership skills. These are the much requirement in the future. All right, so there's the same thing. So obviously, as I mentioned before, education not alone just reading by hearted, vomiting on the exam paper, pass or first class, then move away. It's not that. You must develop a courageous. You must able to develop your skills in order to solve the problem, because in future always wants the person who can able to solve the problem rather than simply following the steps. Okay. Okay. You can see about it. As I said, there's also this quite a reproducible content, as the student is always quite familiar with the face-to-face, which means they come to the class and listen to the teacher, or whatever the teaches. According to the psychologist, not more than 13 minutes the student can focus what the teacher can do that. Okay. So face-to-face. So the student always they tune with that from the school perspective, from the school onwards, they tune with the face-to-face. So slowly they have to be switched to the online. So definitely there will be shock if there is no prior knowledge, or there is no the courtesy or the fundamental digital knowledge behind it. So it should be inculcated in part of the education system, not only in the undergraduate. It should be start from the schooling onwards. So that's what is happening in the developing countries and developed countries. Technical issues, of course, doesn't mean the technical issues. At least you must have at least fundamental knowledge about the digital knowledge. Okay, so about the computers, about the softwares. If not, you may not be a or maybe expertise or master in that, but at least you must have certain fundamental knowledge which can be able to cope up with the the future competitions. As we talk about that, at least the fundamental digital knowledge is requirement. Another one, time management. So this is also, even in our universities, we talk about the time management. Always, the time is precious for the money, right? You never, when you give a task, how efficient you're enough to finish the task in a time, right? So if you're learning about the online learning, and also you need to manage the timing as well. So one of the good flexibility of the online learning, perhaps, okay, you can record the session and you can hear it at your convenient time, all right? That's called flexibility in terms of learning. So time management is very important, because as I said, the online learning is quite, it's one of the boost for us, all right, boon for us. But at the same time, you can experience this past 68 days, as one of our faculty mentioned. So keep staring in front of the system for the whole day. Even it may not be good for 1 week or 2 weeks, but when you look at it in over a long period, definitely there will be a health as well as the psychological effect. So what I'm trying to say, you must manage the time which is provided, how to reallocate it about the learning process, and about your personal, you have a personal and privacy time, how you can effectively use it for your self-development. Self-motivation again. So it's not the one after hearing the talk of anybody given a talk, your motivation will be boosted, and you can carry on for a while. Then after that, you may demotivated. Okay, so slowly that the enthusiasm will be fade off. It should not be the case. You should have a long lasting. You must understand, unless and until you understand the behind the picture, and whatever the enthusiasm which you're going to get is going to be is going to be fade away. So make sure that it should be sustainable in you. Another, of course, limitations, as maybe I can consider this the least challenges because, as everybody know, or everybody has at least a cell phone in them. But I've just come to know about it. This institutions in your college, most of in India, they don't allow the students to use their cell phone. But in Malaysia, everybody, they have cell phones and iPads and other tools. Most of the learning, okay. Of course, it is inevitable. Some students, they may misuse it, but misuse of one or two students, we should not deny the benefits by the majority of the people. Of course, whatever the case, there will be one or two cases will be there. Of course, we must learn how to address that properly. And what I'm trying to iterate here, the device availability might be least, because at least even in India, you can get an Android phone maybe at the price of around 5,000, even less than that. All right. So internet is everywhere, is available. So it is one of the in future, maybe it may be much cheaper. All right. So it's a good platform for you to learn at your own pace. And in education, this is also one of the factor. Everybody has their own style of learning, own pace of learning. But in a class didactic lecture, where the session is going to be 1 hour, as I mentioned before, not more than 13 minutes, the student can able to focus over talk. They may physically present in the lecture, probably they might have thinking something else. So we might be thinking, okay, we deliver the content, but how effectively the student has grasped the content is important. All right. So this digital platform, the recorded version, and which lay down the platform at any time, any number of time, and they keep listening, keep practicing till they get familiar. Right. So that's also one of the challenges, but it's not that a critical in terms of challenges. Anyway, which we covered that internet availability, changing faculty. All right, let's move on to the faculty challenges. This is also one of the components for challenges. As I shown in the first pictures of the cartoon, the faculty, maybe for the faculty, they're quite convenient for taking lectures in face-to-face. They can look at the eyes, they can feel the presence of the students. So based on the expression of the facial expression and based on the posture of the student, they can change the tone, they can change the modulation. All right, so that the faculty can able to try to reach the student as much as possible. But definitely in online, there will be challenges where they cannot meet each and every student. They can't sense the emotion, they can't sense the exact current picture. So obviously it is going to be a bit challenges. Okay, time and test, of course, what it means, the faculty should update. So as we already keep insisting, the student must learn, but at the same time, the faculty also should update the challenges, because always in our system, we always depends on the lecturer, we always depends on the teacher. Whatever they say, we follow that. All right, so we must be starting point, right? We must be resource person. So from us, if we are at least some extent, if we learn about it, we can push the student. From this, they can reach, from them they can learn by themselves with the humorous and numerous amounts of contents in the global platform. And of course, adaptation. Again, this is also context is relevant to the adaptation. All right. So ultimately, not only the adaptation is applicable for the students, it is also applicable for the faculty. So definitely, even as a lecturer, so myself, all right. But however, our university have such a laid of foundations, we already embark on that. But myself, due to the COVID-19, I've personally experienced it, and also we got a feedback. And also each and every feedback from the students and the staff, we improve ourselves, how to engage the students. The session is not only deliver the content and done the job. It's not the case. You must ensure how effective the student learn about it. So we must, so in that case, in order to keep engaged the student with us all the way of our content teaching and learning process, then we need to engage them. So we need to change our strategy from content to content, all right, delivery tool to delivery tool. All right. So if you have, if you have a prior knowledge, if you can able to which tool is sufficient, which tool is the right tool for the candidate or the content which you're going to deliver, then that is going to be a right strategy for the approach of this online learning. Okay, so obviously it is also somewhat relevant to the, it's a training. So the faculty itself must push them to attend various conferences, various seminars, okay, interact with the, this, because in this internet group, you can see when you type in the Google, you'll get lots of papers. All right, just extract the email ID of the particular author, just type them, send a request, then you can immediately, maybe if not immediately, maybe in a few days, you will get a reply. So the resources are there, that it is our duty and it's our responsibility to make a contact, to develop ourselves to up to the knowledge, because we should be a resource person for our students, our young minds, who's going to be the next generation of our healthcare sectors. Okay, these are just as I covered it before. So what it means, you must wish, you must express the interest, whatever we mentioned for the student perspective, it is also applicable for faculty. Again, so of course, there's all the prior knowledges. If we are using any basic or fundamental content or any relevant content for our studies, then we must know about some of the intellectual property rights as well. All right, so we can't simply use the rights, intellectual property of other person to make use of it, unless and until if it is not for benefits or it's not for commercial purposes. Similarly, you can, as a faculty, you can generate a lot of content. You can see in YouTube channels nowadays, it blooms lots of contents in that every now and then. Even I can see from India, now they're trying to cope up, and they have lots of contents coming from the faculty side, student side. They create their own channels. All right, so they can have an intellectual property. All right, so that's one of the boom for online platform, which can be effectively used for, for the digital learning. Okay, ultimately, what is the strategy behind? Simple. You must promote self-directed learning. The purpose is you tune the student. We are no longer is going to be all the way till the life of the student. We no longer is going to be go along with them to keep teaching them, right? So with this limited duration of 3 years or 4 years, we're going to tune to that, to the students. They must equip in what's the right tool, what's the way of approach the future problems, how to solve that, how can we be a better and efficient healthcare professions. These are all comes in the head of our responsible role as a facilitator, as a teacher. Okay, so this is all about you must have a sound knowledge about your content. All right, so quality of standards, course contents, all. So this is what in a holistic way, a faculty, if it's a well knowledge about the content, and if we know what is the appropriate tool to be delivered, then that is goal. All right, so he could be the light horse for the following students. So of course, all the faculty should reflect themselves, so that it is going to be beneficial for a student. Student means it doesn't stop the student itself. It is future of the country. All right, and look at that, another 5 to 10 years, they're going to be occupying the key posts. So if they are quite well commandable voice and more competent in terms of administration, leadership quality, community quality, and also digital competencies, then it is good for us, good for the country. All right, and again, this is all about the content. Of course, any content. All right, it may be engineering, or could be medical, or could be pharmacy, any field. The content is also some extent, but it may not be much impact, but some extents maybe the nature of the content may a little bit of impact it. So obviously it also important in terms of a faculty who is going to develop the content. We cannot keep roll on the same content for the past 15 years or 20 years. We must update it. All right, we must keep updated. What are the important roles, how it is going to be in the future. All right, so it is very important, the faculty. All right, when they update it, definitely the faculty is going to be one of the key components for curriculum developers. All right, so the curriculum, while developing the curriculum, he can foresee the future, what it needs. So definitely that competency is supposed to be inculcated in the student. So obviously it can be put in the curriculum in the form of, right. So of course we may not. So those were the days only we learn about the core subjects and we pass out and simply meagerly we do the job and go off. It's not that. In the future, you must be at least, if not a master in competencies in other digital technologies, at least you must have certain extent of knowledge, right? That is going to be make you to sustainable in the challenging future. Of course, strategies you must have periodically. You must keep on. The world is moving faster, especially after the internet era. It's moving very faster. So we must cope up. As during the introduction talk, as your faculty has mentioned about it. So the moving is very fast. That's in the 20th century. There's a drastic change in the education sector. All right. So accordingly, the curriculum also should be updated, and faculty should be updated. Okay, then it will be properly transformed into the students. All right, the student is going to be the next generation who going to rule the roof. Okay, so this is all about the content limitations. Now let's look at the, okay, it's my pleasure to share some of the existing online platforms. As you can see, as we already know about it, Zoom. All right, apart from the Zoom, there are other tools is also available, which is also called YouTube. As I mentioned, recorded lectures. Recorded lectures, we normally, in terms of e-learning, we say asynchronous, right? The student can look at the recorded voice or recorded lectures and then re-look at it, revise it a number of time. And if they have a doubt, they can again have an appointment with us and they can clarify from us. Zoom is one of the well-established. So this is also the current platform for us now. And we're effectively using that. So as you know that I'm sitting in Malaysia, I can touch. This is live streaming in YouTube all over the globe. So it's one of the, it's a boon for us. And this is also a very advanced tool, and which shrinks the globe in a point. Right? So no longer that, oh, that's the other part of the world. I'm sitting in one place. I can watch, I can interact, okay, with eminent peoples in a one place. Right? The Moodle platform, of course, as you can see that the Moodle is the most commonly used education platform in most of the universities, and which caters the need of all the e-learning platforms, including the assessments. MS Teams, nowadays the Microsoft Teams, even in my universities, they are quite focusing on MS Teams. All the lectures, all the lectures, tutorials, workshops, problem-based solving, even OSCEs. OSCE is nothing but objective structure clinical examination. Probably the Form D students might have heard about that, but it's with a simulated patient we try to mimic as a real scenario as your ward. Okay, that's called OSCE. Google Hangouts. These are just a few examples of the currently existing online class tools for the efficient delivery of the content. So with these tools, it is possible, even though the Corona-19 or COVID-19 pandemic affect most of the sector, but education sector might be least affected, because we can still perform the teaching and learning activities. We can still perform, assessment practice, without any interruption. There must be a little bit delay, or in terms of, we have to compromise certain contents or the qualities, but we were not completely halted because of COVID-19, the pandemic. So all the accolades goes to these technological advancement. Of course, every successful or every positive, there will be challenges. Of course, you need to have an internet quality, the bandwidth. If, for example, in this, as I can see that more than 100 participants, you can listening to me. All right. So how it is possible? It's because of internet. All right. And as you can see that there will be challenges, there will be unexpected technical difficulties would come. It is inevitable. definitely it would come. But so with that, we must have a roadmap how to overcome that. How can we best accomplish our task by using these specific tools? All right, so benefits. Okay, let me share about some of the benefits of online learning. As I said, even I thought face-to-face is one of the best. I agree with that. Because when I teach face-to-face, I can learn, I can know that, I can sense whether what the student looks moody, or the student looks, doesn't concentrate it, or the student looks lost, whether he's really enthusiastic of learning. I can screen the enthusiasm, I can screen those emotions and realities. Accordingly, I can adjust and myself to deliver the content. But this is a bit of challenges in online. But however, there are other opportunities and other possibilities, and positiveness comes from the online learning. As I said, each and every student has their own pace and own style of learning, as I mentioned before. So that can be effectively fulfilled by this online learning. So this is one of the advantages I mentioned here, the customized learning. So what it means, so as I said, every student will not be the same. They have their own pattern of learning, own style of learning, okay, own approach of learning. All right, so you can customize. All right, and also accordingly, you can use the right tool. According to the content, you can choose the right tool. Okay, so that's one of the good advantages of having online learning. Interactive learning, another important stuff. As you can see in the face-to-face of 100 students, it's very difficult to interact with the 100 students. But in online, I can do the interactions. I can make a quiz. I can make interactive tools, which I'm going to list it in the following slides. So I can have more effective interactions over the face-to-face, which is one of the benefits. Flexibility. What do you mean by flexibility? The students can have a flexible in learning. Even the faculty can deliver the content when at whatever the time or whatever the period they wanted. So this is a good approach in a developing countries. You could have heard about the online learning facilities, especially for master program, which they have flexibility in terms of working persons. So they can work as a normal time, but after the working hours they can come and learn in the online. That's called flexibility. The online learning gives a good flexibility in terms of learning process. And as I mentioned, anytime, 24/7. So this is going to be provides a lot of flexibility for learning process. Anyone can learn at their own time, at own pace. Okay, that's a good effective of online learning. Cost effective, yes, definitely is going to be much cost effective. There's a plenty of free tools available. All right, what you need, just a gadget and internet. Apart from that, from a receiver perspective, I'm talking about it. Of course, as an institution, you need to have separate budget and other stuff. But overall, as I mentioned, if you want to learn about, okay, if your teacher is teaching about it, and still, I believe still in India, there's going to be didactic lectures in a classroom. The teacher will teach and leave it. The student themselves, they have to go and refer the library and take their own notes, and they proceeded. But as I mentioned, due to the online learning, even the digital platform, you can get the same content in a different dimension more effectively, and more effectively and more impactfully through the various channels. That's this. Another way, as I mentioned, LMS, Learning Management System, which is also called as Moodle. This is one of the system is most of the universities will adapt this LMS system, where they can are able to monitor the progress of the student, because that is also very important. So as simply deliver, oh, that's my job is done. We can't do that. We must monitor the student, whether it's effectively do it or not. When we post the questions, when we post the quiz, when we post the lecture, whether the student able to see it, whether the student able to give a feedback, how often they do it. So, and also if we conduct an assessment in LMS, you can track the progress, whether the student is able to cope up or not. If not, and even some universities, they can link with the mentor. Usually there is a mentor-mentee system where the mentor can observe the student performance. If there will be a track record of there is a deteriorating progress, immediately the mentor will intervene. So automatically these information automatically will link to the student, the faculty email with the LMS system. These are the few ways to see and monitor the student progress, okay, which are potentially is possible by online learning and online tools. Okay, I've listed here a few of the most commonly used learning tools. Okay, so Kahoot is one of the, all are quite free version. As even in our universities, we use few of the tools. Kahoot is one of the most interactive tool. It's a free version. You can also search it in the internet. I tried to have the session in this, but unfortunately I couldn't that. But anyway, you can type it in the YouTube. You can get the Kahoot. This, if your system or university has a Wi-Fi facilities, if they allow to bring your iPads or cell phones and other stuff, Kahoot is a better interactive tool. The lectures or the contents can be delivered, and you can post the questions, and student can answer the question anonymously. You might be, sometimes the student might be shy, okay, but if they put in anonymous, you can see the tremendous responses from the student when they are the anonymous mode. When they are in the anonymous mode, they can able to address, right? So Kahoot is one of the fantastic tool you can use as an interactive tool during a teaching and learning process. Similarly for Padlet, okay, especially for forums, question and answer sessions, it's better device. Similarly for Socrative, okay, Class Dojo, Poll Everywhere. Poll Everywhere is also linked with the PPT as well. So at the end of the lecture, you may ask the students about the comments. How do you like it? Is there any? So always we think feedback always going to be critical. It's not a critical. It's always for betterment. All right. So always the feedback is very, very important component for the betterment. Prezi, you might have heard about that. This, as we are presenting in the form of PowerPoint, but alternative way of presenting is going to be Prezi. So if you use a different mode of presentation, probably the students would get engaged more than the monotonous or boring single platform. So you can use a mixture, because every tool has its own advantage and disadvantages. So based on the content, you may choose your content or choose your tool, and you can proceed it. Ultimately, your goal is to deliver the content effectively till it reaches the candidate. Okay, let's talk about a little bit of Industrial Revolution 4. In a short form, they call it as IR 4.0. So what it means, in a simple background, basically the education system evolved from the industry needs. As you can see, from 17th century, 18th century, 19th and 20th century. So always when the industry needs an employee, the education will be drafted or evaluated according to that. All right. So the emerging graduates is going to be address the requirement of the industry where the business will develop. That's one of the fundamental concepts behind it. Now, almost we are in the IR4. IR4 is Industrial Revolution 4, where in the current area or the current generation revolution, okay, in the current generation, all this belongs to the internet. Everybody knows about it. So even though we said there's a lack of job, devoid of job, we are jobless, we are educated, but in fact, the real truth is there are plenty of jobs, but the skilled or the correct fitting person is not available. And moreover, the education system, originally it was drafted to equip the candidate to fit for the industry. I mean, they're looking at you as an employee. Okay, so you will be confined to the particular exposure. All right, so the current education system limiting your skills. Okay, and especially to cater the needs of industry. Right, so it's very, very important, as the future direction of the educations will be purely based on skill basis. As you can see that most of the work will be automated soon. Right, so the manpower, as you can see that if most of the content will be automated, definitely there will be a shrinkage of the manpower. So how can we sustain? Here, important place of education, because the education system should kindle should kindle the, creativeness, should kindle the leadership quality, should kindle the team-based task completing quality. So this current education system, in future current education system, will develop a person, not mere an employee at all. Okay, probably he must be a very skillful person. Okay, this is how, even this is a year 4, which few years back it was established. Even for, you can see that it's almost more than 3 years has passed. Okay, but still some of the countries not even embark on this field yet. So accordingly, you must cope up with the future needs. As you can see that, as I highlighted here, this could be quite relevant to our pharmacy field as well. So as you might be thinking, artificial intelligence and machine learning might be peculiar or particular related to the only engineering students. Not at all. Nowadays, the situation is going to be there. You must have certain extent of knowledge in this artificial intelligence and machines learning, because this is effectively used in drug design, dosage, and drug developments, even in personalized medicine. All right, it's going in advance. The country is going in, the globe is going in advance. So they use each and every tool, especially to deliver the message or deliver the response more effective way. So in that content, the artificial intelligence coding, even the small kids are just, you might be wondered here, the students or the kids, not even the first standard, they're going for coding class just as a summertime. We used to go for typewriting classes and other stuff during summer classes, but now the scenario changes. They're going for coding classes. They learn the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that's we can see that I can compare that transition of the future. Big data analytics is also another important sectors. The data, each and every data is going to be important. This is also going to be useful in terms of drug dosage development, especially for personalized medicine. As you all know, the personalized medicine is also one of the emerging field which is going to be effectively used for the for the treatment, and it is going to be cost effective. It's going to reduce the cost rendered by the patients for the treatment, and also it is going to be tremendously reduce the toxicity of the treatment. So it is plays a crucial role. These are these sectors which should be part of the curriculum. Definitely, no wonder in the future, maybe no longer sooner, you're going to be part of the curriculum as well. Telemedicine. So telemedicine is also one of the booming one, as you can see. And of course, even though it's not a new term, it's been there quite for some time, but this is quite again take another phase during this pandemic situation. So telemedicine, this is also one of the important tool for or division for healthcare sectors, healthcare providers, and I think there will be a detailed talk for tomorrow's session as well. Robotic medicine, even robotic medicine, as you can see that, especially for the busiest hospitals, and especially to deal with the many patients. So the next advancement is already there in Saudi Arabia. Even I've heard in one of the India also some of the hospital they had, and other developed countries, some extent they already have the robotic medicine. So these all, as you can see, that is going to be the future dominant content. So you must have certain knowledge about all the content in order to sustain yourself, in order to compete with other. You must have your own role. Okay. Assessment. Okay, I'm just like to touch about the assessments here. What do you mean by assessments? As you all know, we talk about the online learning, digital learning, blah, blah, blah. But how do we ensure, okay, the assessment is the only tool you're going to ensure the candidate is going to be, is a qualified or non-qualified. So even in a global way, one of the professors from Netherlands, I think Netherlands is one of the leading country in education sector. He said, he commented, some of the medical school, they abolished the grading system because they believe the grading system destroy the, uh, it doesn't fulfill. In fact, I can reword it, doesn't fulfill the actual purpose of assessment. So they said they will keep on assessing. There will be only pass or fail. If you pass, you're qualified to practice. If you fail, redo it, and you have to keep repeating until you get qualified. There won't be any further grading, marking system or grading system. Okay, so which probably it doesn't. That's not the purpose of actual education. So I was wondered about his talk, but Netherlands is one of the leading education system in the world. He commented about it. That's been practiced. Few of the medical colleges have been practiced. So we may not be wonder. It may happen in India, but it may not take very soon. Maybe it'll take a long time, but we cannot deny the possibility. All right. So assessment is important, and of course, instead of assessing only during the annual exams or semester exam, we must assess periodically as an in-course assessment or internal assessments. All right. So some of the medical and dental from my colleges, even from one of the professors from Hong Kong, he said they have a progression points. For example, if for 5 years they will be having a progression points, which means the student will not be having a exams. So probably every semester there will be a kind of a formative type of assessment, and cumulatively they'll collect the data and find at the end of the second year or third year there will be one exam. Right, so each and every point will be calculated in order to decide finally whether the candidate is pass or fail. So this just highlights how the assessment is happening across the globe. And higher the questions, so most of the time, and of course you can see even in India, I've come across the Anna University is going to have online assessments. As you can see that when you go the online assessment, it is very difficult to monitor the students. Obviously, the question standard should be higher. They should not get the answers directly from the Google. So the questions has to be developed in such a way that the student can apply, critically think, analyze, right? According to Bloom's taxonomy, application, analysis, synthesis, these are high order questions. The question should not be simply a factual recall. They have to, they have to critically think and solve the problem, apply the content. So the question assessment should be higher order rather than factual recalls. Open book, as I mentioned about it, open book tests, even it's not a very new term. It's been there for quite some time. Even during my college time as well, that was a message, or there was a communication, but we were happy at the time. Oh, if it's an open book, I thought, okay, I can copy and do that, but that wasn't the concept behind it. Open book test means obviously the question also differ, which means it gives a platform for you to assess the problem, come with a solution. So the question should not be like, simply a factual recall. It should be, problem solving based, because in future, they need a candidate has a capability of solving the problems rather than simply collecting the problems. Simply, simply they copy and paste. That's not going to be a future anymore. Formative assessments. What does mean by formative assessment? Formative assessment is nothing but the assessments doesn't have any grades or marks, all right? But at the end of every assessment, you must give a feedback as a facilitator, as a lecturer, as a professor. You must give a feedback. That feedback must effective. That feedback should be effective. The student can reflect the mistakes, reflect the lack of points. They can develop it. So always in education, the formative assessment plays a very, very important role. The feedback is very, very important. The feedback is the one which is going to be progressing to the next phase of the candidate. So formative assessment should be focused with the feedback. Simply feedback. Why I'm trying, because that is an important element for self-reflection and to pinpoint the lack of a particular content, so that the student can focus and upgrade themselves to the need. Let's touch the final slide. Is going to be, as we're talking about the IR 4.1, 4.0, as I said, Industry Revolution 4. As I mentioned that even some of the countries, they don't even embark on IR4, but the Japan is the country who already started thinking about IR5. The main objective of the IR5 is to create, the education must create an entrepreneur, not an employee, which means, and I can see that even in the current scenario, even I can see a lot of YouTube channels, even for the working women's, they do record and create a YouTube channels, even for cooking, even for DIY, do it yourself. Simple things they are posted in your YouTube channels. That's just an example I'm saying. So they're creative enough. They are creative enough. So then explore the talent in the global market. So similarly, this is going to be applicable for the pharmacy field as well. So you need to be, you need to be competent guy, a competent professional in the future. So you must have very important skills, communication skills, leadership skills, and you must have the thrive for learning. All right, you should not reluctant to change it. You always, as I said, those were the days we are blind what is happening across the globe. But nowadays you can know from your palm, from your handset, you can know what is happening in and around the globe. You can equip yourself. You can analyze what's the need of the future. Accordingly, you can equip yourself, and by using a right tool and equipping yourself to cater the need of healthcare professions. You must lay down your own mark in order to compete, to stand in this future world. So this see this one of the pictures of my students who presented one of the device they developed, especially for I don't remember, I think it's for some entrepreneurship skill. They develop a model and demonstrated in the country-wise competition, and they got a third prize or something else. So which means the curriculum also plays an important role, and a faculty must be a kindle for them. We must be a role model for them, and always we know that we must be a hint, but the student always deliver a drastic changes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would be happy to answer any questions if you have. Thank you. I can stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you, sir. If any queries from the participant side, please raise your hand or text your question in the mailbox. Hello, any queries from participant end? Please raise your hand or message text in the chat box. Yeah, thank you, sir. Ajay, sir, over to you.
Yes, sir.
Today's session coordinator, Mr. Ajay Kumar, you can start the vote of thanks of today's our panel of speaker, Dr. Jitendra Paneer Selvam, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Can I stop share? Can I stop share the slides?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Here is an saying that it does not matter where you go and what you study. What matters most is what you share with yourself and the world. So this is the actual thing what has taken place today in this great session. I deem it a great honor and privilege to purpose vote of thanks on this memorable event. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Almighty God for making today's session a resounding success. My sincere thanks to the session guest speaker, Dr. Jitendra Panneerselvam sir, for gracing today's session. Thank you, sir, for your interesting and valuable information. In this session, you have shared an very interesting topic and very interesting points which will be helpful for the future and younger generation, both for the faculty and to the students. In this overall session of your presentation, the very important things that you have discussed are challenges, categorizing, and sir has clearly explained about the opportunities to improve levels of understanding digital learning. Sir has mentioned how the future direction of pharmacy education in new normal in a very fantastic manner by highlighting the importance of e-learning and how to fill the gaps between the student and faculty. Sir has explained in a beautiful manner about the fundamental digital knowledge. So sir has mentioned an important point, that is time is precious than money, which is an exactly meaningful and worthful sentence sir has given. Sir has explained the challenges of faculty such as face-to-face and how to tune the students by using various interactive tools, very peculiarly tools such as called artificial intelligence, which are being used, and machine learning for drug designing. And extend my sincere thanks to today's speaker, Jitendra Panneerselvam sir. I would like to extend my thanks to Srimati Atluri Shanti Srinivas Reddy Garu, Secretary of A.M.Reddy Educational Institutions. My heartful thanks to the heads of all the departments and the faculties for their valuable contributions and encouragement in all our efforts. I express my sincere thanks to the coordinator and conveners of the first day symposium. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank all the participants in making this session a resounding success. And I hand over the session to Dr. A. Kishore Babu garu. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Ajay Kumar, sir. Sir, a small announcement, sir. Jitendra, sir, one query is there. One person is interested to ask one question.
Please go ahead.
Hagim Sumasri. Hagim Sumasri.
Yes, please.
Yes. Sumasri, you can ask the question. Sumasri. Okay, I think so. Yeah, she is unable to listen voice. Okay, sir, thank you very much. Sir, any few words from your side?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Doctor. So I would like to take this opportunity because I always happy to serve our kids, our younger generations, because we know that we have come from our India, so we are just developing in knowledge, right? So whatever I gain knowledge, and also as I'm quite passionate towards the learning, I would like to share to the experience to the students, because they are the one who's going to be the future. So what we lack in the past, it should not be there. It should not be the case for the young generation now. So I really thankful for this opportunity, for the the organizers, convener Dr. A. Kishore Babu, co-conveners Mr. Kiran, and session coordinators Ajay Kumar, Mrs. Lakshmi, and Venkatesh Garu. Apologize me if I wrongly pronounce the name. I'm not quite familiar with that. So I really thankful, and it's a great initiative to give a platform for the kids and the students, which they must know, what is happening in and around the globe. So I really quite thankful for the organizers who effortlessly take the opportunity to create a platform to update the students, to go along with the progress of the globe technology. So it's my great pleasure and my privilege to be part of this event, and I wish it should be great, successful, and the remaining 3 days has to be more grand, successful, and likely to have more and more sessions similar to that in order to educate the students. Thank you very much. That's it from here.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. You accepted our invitation. The first session, I think, I hope that is grandly to is success. I hope that whatever you shared the knowledge and a lot of tools which are belongs to that LMS. So I think so everything is reaches to the faculty members and students' mind. No doubt at all. Thank you very much, sir. Uh, a small announcement to the participants who are registered participants, students as well as the faculty members. Okay, today by 5 p.m. I will send that Google feedback forms to your registered mails. Okay, so immediately you can fill it and submit. Okay, automatically we will get the response in our spreadsheet. And one more thing is we are communicating the session links as well as the Google form feedback forms through your registered mails. If you are not getting the links, better one more option is there. Already we have mentioned the two WhatsApp numbers in the invitation. Okay, so we are making that session links as a status of WhatsApp numbers. Okay, if you are not getting through the mails, you can open my WhatsApp number and you can click on our status. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, this is the end of the session. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you, sir.